Hello, I'm Diego. I'm here in Paris with Vincent Bryant, co-founder and CEO from Deepki. Vincent, it's a pleasure to be with you.
Hello, Diego. Nice to see you and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let's start with sustainability. How Deepki is implementing sustainability principles in real estate.
At Deepki, we are a 400 employee company, started 11 years ago, and our work is to help investors, asset managers, owners, and users, tenants, to transition towards a sustainable real estate. How do we do that? Practically speaking, we help our clients to design the investment plan, to refurbish buildings, to transform them, to reduce the impact of their buildings on environmental topics. But we also help them to collect data to make it reliable, to make it auditable so they can make the right choices. We then compare the asset to each other, compare to asset to similar assets in our customer portfolio. We have more than 500,000 buildings in 80 countries to compare themselves. And the last but not the least is to get rid of or to comply with all the regulation and non-financial disclosure they have to deal with on a yearly basis.
Great. And which innovative solutions are you most excited about it?
I will say two amazing ones. One is high-tech, another one is soft-tech. The high-tech is artificial intelligence. It's amazing everything you can do with it. We used to call it in the past data analytics, machine learning, and now we are calling it artificial intelligence. But it's an amazing leverage to first enrich data. For instance, we use the satellite information, and with any building in the world you give me an address on, I can tell you what is the nature of the roof. Do we have solar panels, tiles, vegetables, anything? I can figure out thanks to an updated satellite image and automatically. So data enrichment is amazing. Another interesting point is to make actionable insights, to compare things that are comparable. For instance, when you compare the performance of two buildings, sometimes you think that using the building in the street is the best building to compare this one with, which is not. Maybe this hotel is much comparable to another similar hotel in Berlin, and you should compare it. And the more data you have, the more criteria you have, the harder it is for human brain to do it. Thanks to statistics and artificial intelligence, you can compare things that are comparable and see different patterns and see if this building here in Paris, this hotel, is more performing than a similar one somewhere else. And the third one is to automate things and share more rapidly better insights. For instance, we have this amazing feature now at Deepki, which is to assess remotely and do what we call virtual energy audit. So without visiting a building, I can tell you what is necessary to do into your building, how much it will cost you, how much you will save, and what will be the payback time. And this is what artificial intelligence can provide now. It's to enrich data, fasten things, and provide actionable insights. A soft tech example is behavioral sciences. It's just the beginning, but nudges and behaviors of people, not only the users of building, but also the maintainers, how can you onboard them? How can you engage them in order to reduce the impact of your building on environment? How can you push people to take stairs instead of using a lift or an elevator? How can you push people to switch off lights at the right time into your office or to lower the temperature? And it's interesting to see that you have more and more leveragings, such as gamification, such as competition, but also such as using benchmark again. If you compare your behavior with your neighbor behavior, you may tend to change it a little bit because you don't want to look like misbehaving against him.
Okay, nice. And which lessons can we learn from a concrete client's feedback?
Some of the most amazing feedbacks we gathered, because now we have 500 clients working over the past 11 years, is it's amazing to have strong ambitions, but you need to start baby steps. You need to choose the topic you want to deal with, reducing energy consumption, building your decarbonisation pathway, and starting working on water, but no more. Companies that have too many targets in biodiversity, indoor air quality, energy, embodied carbon, everything, because they're lost. And so one of the biggest takeaway is it's important to have strong ambitions, but to start it little by little with baby steps. This is a great feedback we've learned with our client. Another one is it's important to align everybody. If you only do some marketing communication, I want to be net zero by 2040. Oh no, 2050. Oh no, I won't be net zero because Mr. Trump doesn't want me to be net zero. No. This is marketing, this is communication. However, if you really want to have an impact, you need to align the governance of the company, the C-suite. Needs to be very clear on objectives and targets. The people, managers needs to have scorecards. Your subcontractors, property managers, facility managers, engineering firms, they have to be all aligned with your goal. Tenants, they need to be part of the commitment and they need to be engaged. And as long as everybody is aligned in terms of implementation of such a journey, you can make it happen and more rapidly than people may to think sometimes.
Interesting. And what are the main challenges and opportunities for a transformation projects in France?
In France, the main challenges we may have is bureaucracy, if not technocracy. Paperwork can be awful. Other countries in Europe are very great as well to show big paperwork. Germany is great, we're well located as well on that race. But still, what we will expect from the legislator and from the governments is to reduce the complexity of the regulation and the paperwork to do. Be more pragmatic, more realistic, focus on what is important. And the Omnibus Directive recently in Europe, maybe it's not the best way to implement it, but it's good to simplify a little bit the regulation so that we can all focus on the main goals by 2030, 2050, etc. In terms of upsides, France started a long time ago regarding sustainability in the real estate industry, one of the first countries in terms of regulation ambitions. It's also one of the most ambitious countries with Netherlands, with the UK in Europe, and it's a the infrastructures in France, the roads, the education, the internet network, the electricity, the transportation networks, they are very good, and so it's easier to implement things here in France sometimes than in other countries. Just to give you an example with a comparable country, Germany, there's no remotely readable meters in buildings. You can't get access to your electricity consumption remotely in Germany. You can't, even for a big building, for an hotel, because there was no program to implement digital meters. Whereas in France now, even individuals with the Linky meter, they can have access remotely to their consumption. And as long as you get access to these very accurate data and these interval data, the more initiatives you can build, the more alerts you can get, and the more efficient you can become.
Cool. And how do you articulate the financial equation of a transformation while integrating sustainability goals?
There are several. There were a lot of research papers 20 years ago about that topic. How can we transform sustainable topics into financial performance? There are several components in it. First, it's obviously the expenditures. If you are more efficient in terms of energy efficiency, water efficiency, materials efficiency, you lower your expenditures. Yes, at the end, the tenants will pay for it. But if the tenants pay less expenditures, because especially now their willingness to pay remains stable, if not is decreasing, it's more protection for the leasing contract, if not more increase of the leasing contract. This is one example. Another example is insurance costs. Some assets are no longer insurable in some regions due to natural risk and climate risk. Some other assets face more and more expensive insurance cost, and so if you want to lower that, you better do the right decisions in terms of investment and in terms of refurbishment to avoid such a cost. A third example is protecting the value of the asset. So we are talking about green value, about green premium, about brand discounting. I think it will be more brand discounting, but how you can protect the value of your asset and avoid, once you want to sell it, to meet a potential buyer telling you, oh, this is a great asset, but it will require 15 million euros to refurbish it in order to put it into the right decarbonisation pathway or the right regulation, local regulation. So I want to discount the price of your asset by the amount of necessary works. So to avoid such a thing, the earlier you implement works, the better the performance of the asset, the lower the risk of brand discounting you will face in the future. And these are three out of many of us examples how sustainability can have a practical impact and improve performance and minimize risk.
Okay, thank you. And what do you enjoy the most about taking part of GRI activities?
The two things I love about the GRI is first being updated with the last week's signals, discussions with banks, with investment managers, with investors, with tenants, because it's very insightful. You can understand where the market is going. And the second thing is networking. It's always great to meet clients and potential clients and partners here because there is always a very welcoming environment to share and to discuss.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It
Thank
was
you,
a
Diego.
pleasure.
Likewise.